When we think about young adults with intellectual disabilities, we don't often associate them with going to college. After tonight's episode of Connecting Our Community, I hope that we'll all think differently about that. Please stay tuned to Connecting Our Community coming up next. Hi, I'm Pat Shoemaker. Welcome to Connecting Our Community. Our first guest this evening is Dr. Meg Griggle. She's the co-director of Think College and a senior research fellow with the Institute for Community Inclusion at the University of Massachusetts in Boston. Our second guest is Carla Neighbors, the Director for Developmental Education and Workforce Access at Montgomery College. Welcome to both of you, and you both have said that I can call you by your first name, so I'm not being disrespectful. Meg, tell us please what Think College is.
Sure. Think College is a national organization aimed at expanding and improving inclusive higher education access for people with intellectual disability.
And is it a local, well, you said it's a national, but how did it get started and how did you get involved in it?
Well, it got started in its current iteration around 2008 through a couple of grant-funded projects. And I began working with Think College at that time, and we were working throughout the country with two grant-funded projects. One was aimed at working to offer technical assistance and training to colleges and universities that wanted to increase access for people with intellectual disability. And another grant was focused on doing a national survey of existing options. So doing outreach to find out how many colleges and universities were serving students with intellectual disability.
And I would imagine, as I said in the tease, there are not probably many people who would associate someone with disabilities, intellectual disabilities, with going to college. So how did that become something that somebody thought about that was a topic even for discussion?
Well, you're right. Typically, students with intellectual disability in their middle and high school years aren't necessarily encouraged to think about college. That really depends on the community they're in and the school system they're in. Luckily, in Montgomery County, I think students in this county are more likely to be encouraged to think about college. But nationally, it's still a challenge. So the movement to increase inclusive higher education options in the country really developed over the past 20 years. I think after IDEA, the legislation that supported students with all disability to receive public education, those students all grew up. And it's not surprising that the college conversation started around the same time as those students who initially went into public school were aging out like their peers.